My friends, may the good Lord give you peace. The story is told about the famous British actor John Barrymore, very popular at the turn of the 20th century, early in the 20th century. And the story goes that he was once at a gathering, and there was a minister who invited him to stand and to recite the 23rd Psalm. And he did so with great poise, with great eloquence, with great inflections of tone, and when he was finished, the audience applauded. The minister then got up. His voice was rather flat. He stumbled across a couple of words, but he prayerfully moved through the psalm. And when he was done, there was silence and not a dry eye in the place. And Mr. Barrymore got up and he said, "My friends, the difference between these two recitations is that I reached your minds and your ears, but he reached your hearts, because I know only the words. He knows the shepherd." Wow. I think that story beautifully sums up the meaning of Jesus' challenging words in the scriptures for today. He says, "Not all those who say, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven." Certainly as a priest and as a religious, as someone whose business it is to go around saying, "Lord, Lord," and talking about God and the things of religion, I ask myself, well, why wouldn't someone like me enter the kingdom of heaven? And the answer is simple. If I don't have a relationship with the shepherd himself, it does me no good to run around just talking about what the shepherd said and did. My life has to be grounded in a relationship with him. And I think that should be the task of the whole church these days. We have sex abuse scandals still going on, most recently in Philadelphia. It's crossed our country, it's spread through Europe. And what lies behind this? A lot of things. Human weakness, abuse of power. But so much of it happened because the focus was on protecting the organization, the institutional church, forgetting about the one in whom the church is grounded, and the people, the innocent children especially, that church is supposed to serve. And then we go on to the many silly fights and arguments that we have about how the liturgy should be celebrated, what hymns should be sung, who can wash the sacred vessels, and so forth and so on. Again, a lot of noise made about the externals, but not thinking too often of why those externals are done. Why is it that we celebrate the Eucharist? Who is it that stands behind all of that? I think we could overcome a lot of the ills and a lot of the divisions within the church if our focus was on trying to grow closer to the shepherd. In fact, as we go into Lent, which begins this coming Wednesday, let's focus on that rather than on what we're going to give up and what we're going to do. Let's focus during this coming Lent on trying to grow closer to the shepherd.